Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We are doing things a little bit differently today. Thank you for joining Joe and I. Come on through. Joe is on tour right now. And I
Yeah.
guess you can talk about being on tour, babe. That's something
Yeah.
to talk about.
Yeah. We here. The tour actually starts today. So when you guys are watching this, the tour is the
Yeah.
first day of the tour. And we'll be in Utah for the first show. And it kicks off the Tiger Blood tour. Otherwise, the band is Otherwise. If y'all want to see the dates or whatever, y'all can go to my any of my social media pages, and you'll see tour flyer, the tour schedule, whatever. And so that's why I'm not home right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, so my honey's not home. I'm sad, but we are still talking about Married at First Sight, okay?
Straight up.
So if you are here and you are hanging out with us, bust down, subscribe to this Mamie Tam channel because y'all watching this video. And it don't cost you nothing to subscribe. So make sure you subscribe to this channel so we can keep bringing on this good content or whatever the case may be. So I'm saying all that to say, let's jump on in to Married at First Sight, Season 12, Episode 13. And we're talking to the experts this week. And I'm kind of meh about it, but we open up the episode with Brianna and Vincent talking about their finances. And Brianna and Vincent have very different ways of life. One is a lot more frugal than the other. And I think it gives Vincent anxiety to see on paper just how much Brianna spends and everything like that.
Yeah, I can understand it. I get anxiety to see in real life how much you spend. So for me, like, I'm just saying, like, I understand his, like him feeling like he seemed like he didn't know how to broach the situation or the conversation, or he didn't really like, and it kind of went into like, it kind of went into this running theme of them this episode where like he says stuff and she doesn't really listen, and she just kind of goes on doing what she does, and he's like, yo, like, are you hearing what I'm saying? Like, I just think that we should do this or that. And she just kind of continues to do like her thing and do like whatever the hell she want to do. But it's a new subject for them. It's finances, which is, for people who are strangers, it's a touchy subject. It's a personal subject. When you're dealing with somebody who you just met. So I get it.
I mean, I feel like the way he reacted was super understanding. I think that the way that she kind of made it like, oh, well, we still gonna have to court each other, or when, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think, I was reading this article and it was just talking about when you're in a relationship with somebody who doesn't, as a woman, make as much money as you. This was years ago. And one of the things was like, you can't, because sometimes there is an emotional tie to finances, right? So where she may not have it because she like, and I work hard to get here, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want to do, which is how I feel. He might be like, we need to be a little bit more conscious and strategic, is his actual word.
And that was his only angle. His only angle was, I'm not saying we're gonna shut our lives down, but I just want to be more mindful of our spending habits. And he went into detail about why he felt that way. He said, because I used to be out. He said, I used to go ahead. I had the cars, I had the jewelry, I spent money kind of frivolously, and I'm older now. I have a family. We're building a family. We're a family. We want to build a family, and you need money to do that. And so your spending habits should change when you have some bigger goals that are on the horizon. And so I understood that, but it just seemed like she didn't understand that.
I just think that she is, it's hard when you get your way quite often. And just based on the way that her family has described Brianna, like being bossy and everything like that, it says to me that they acquiesce a lot. You know what I mean? So she might be used to people just being like, okay, Brianna, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And when he's like politely, like, I mean, so politely saying, no, we need to compromise on some things, and you maybe need to, like, make a change here or there. We can both stand to do so.
Yeah.
I thought that was And y'all in Atlanta, like, let's be for real. How much is the houses?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's true. That's true. But what the point is that it is about your habits, right? And it is about making good spending decisions. Because we talked about during the show where I think we talked about like how it could be how her what was it, her food budget or something was $400, or it was clothes was like $400 or something like that,
which makes sense.
Which doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. But the thing is, it's not about, we talked about how like, oh well, if she makes X amount of money, then she could spend X amount of money on this, right? But that does not speak to making sound financial decisions, right? Like just because you make $2 million a year doesn't mean that it's a smart financial decision to pay $2,000 for a coffee table, right? Like can you afford it? Yes. Was it a smart financial decision? No. So I think that's the where they're going to have to bridge the gap, because he's like, yeah, like we're not going broke with you spending $400 on clothes. Is it a smart decision when we're trying to buy a house? No.
But so let's get into them sitting down with the experts or whatever the case may be. So Vincent sits down with Pastor Cal, and Brianna sits down with, you know what? I kind of don't, I want to wait to talk about this actually. Only because I have a method to my madness, y'all. So go with me. Okay. Let's get into Virginia and Eric. All right. So Virginia and Eric sit down with Virginia sits down with Pastor Cal. Eric sits down with Dr. Pepper, which I'm also very curious about how they decided who sat down with who. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I am too. And why they did it.
And why they did it, right? Like, is it a comfortability thing?
Because at first I thought that it made it seem like the girls were going, yeah. And then it switched up, and then it was like, okay, I don't really know what the method is.
What's the method to the madness? But they sit down and they speak, and Eric speaks with Dr. Pepper, and I thought this was a really good conversation because one of the young ladies, I think it was Sasha, in our comments, and if I'm wrong, it was either Sasha or Fedora. They were speaking about how Eric talks about the dog so much because he's aligning the dog's personality with Virginia's personality. So if he can control the dog, in his mind, he can control Virginia. And I said, that is brilliant. Like, you know, like, you know,
or he could just not like bad dogs, which I don't either. Yeah, I can't stand them at all. And I'm a dog lover, but I cannot stand bad dogs. And I feel the same way about kids, which is why I didn't like Dr. Pepper's analogy to the kids. That to me,
I think it went too far.
It went too far. Like that didn't make sense to me. For you to say, well, what if it was the kid? Then, like to me, like we made that analogy last week, I think it was last week. We made
that analogy,
right? When saying like if it was a kid, it would be in my mind it would be more understandable for you to be like, hey, we need to figure out how we're going to co-parent because I am a stepfather. It makes no sense to I don't know no type of blended family situation that is a healthy working situation where one parent, the biological parents and the other parent don't have nothing to do with the situation, and they live in the same house together. When Dr. Pepper said that, I'm like, what the hell is going on with y'all this season? Maybe she was speaking
about it from a space, because I've been thinking about this. Maybe she was speaking about it from a space of like the time. So maybe it's too soon for you to be thinking that you can make certain decisions on behalf of Rocky or whatever the case may be. And maybe you got to wait for that. Like I took it that way.
That's like, reasonable to me, but she didn't really say that to me.
But this is my thing, because to your point, babe, I want to say this. To your point, y'all married at first sight, right?
Yeah.
So if this was a kid, right, you already decided to commit yourself to somebody. So with you comes your baggage,
right?
Your blessings, right?
Right.
So I got to take on all that on as well, and I should have some kind of say in the whole situation. So I mean, she's the expert. However, I do think that when it comes to animals and kids, you do have to draw a fine line when it comes to relationships and like and even the tone in which you speak to the dog. You know what I mean? Or to the child. They need to know
but for in Virginia's case, for you to say, don't discipline the dog at all. Don't worry about it. That's my job. That's out of bounds. I don't know no expert or counselor that would say it's okay for you to tell him, don't worry about that. That ain't your kid. And y'all live together. So now I'm paying the bills for this motherfucker to live and eat and sleep under my roof, but I can't say anything to them.
Well, maybe
I'm supposed to not work. That's crazy to me.
Maybe she meant like, this cannot be the hill that you want to die on.
It's just words matter, and Dr. Pepper's words were not everything you saying makes sense, but she didn't say what you said.
Yeah, because I think her thing was, let's prioritize the things that you take issue with, right? The dog thing in the spectrum of life, in your life, and where you're going with this person is really not the most important thing that you should be talking about.
Right, y'all got bigger problems to deal with.
That might have been where she was going with it. Like, you know what I mean? But I absolutely agree with where you're going, because I wish I might have a mother jumper in my house that ain't mine, and I can't tell that mother jumper what to do.
Then they need to move
right now. I'd be like, I go over there and do this.
Like what?
Yeah, like no. I don't. That don't make sense to me. But what I did like is, and we're talking about Eric first. We'll get to Virginia. Well, let's get to Virginia right now. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm all over the place, but it's because my co-pilot is not home and it's messing me up. Yeah. But Virginia says that they have really good days and they have like really bad days, and she doesn't like how he is constantly talking about leaving her if she doesn't want to have a child, and she has like a fear of having children, and she should, because she's probably pickled her uterus with all the vodka and alcohol she's drank. But
if that thing worked.
And I'm not even shaming her. I'm not anybody who knows, you know my story, you know I ain't gonna shame you about having babies or not. I think that Virginia has a bigger issue with commitment than what we know. I think that it's less about the fact that you actually fear pregnancy, and more about the fact that will require you to be responsible. And I think that that's her issue. And she's young, right? Let's be for real. She's a young woman. So she might not feel that way right now. Like, she might genuinely be in a space where that's too much of a burden. Yeah. But I do feel like girl.
It's just she's not even, I don't think because of where she is in life, like I don't even think it was on her radar. And she's kind of in the beginning of those wanting kids kind of era, those years, and he's at the end of his. So this is another thing. It gotta happen today. Exactly. And they both kind of right where they should be. And I think this is another expert that I lay squarely at the feet of the another situation that I would lay squarely at the feet of the experts.
I just feel like, it's just really, I'm getting tired. Like, this season is really becoming a wash to me, because decision day is just like 2 or 3 weeks away. So
2 weeks.
I just really can't. But Dr. Pepper goes on to talk to him about her drinking and how they notice that every time they have an argument, it's alcohol fueled. Mm-hmm. And he was honest by saying, I don't drink that much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously now we in a space where, not monkey see, monkey do, but, when in Rome. And I think that it's affecting their relationship. Like, I think, honestly, they would have a better relationship if she wasn't a goddamn alcoholic. Yeah,
I think so too. Now, she said when he brought it to her, she said we would have these arguments where there was alcohol infused.
Which is BS. It's such BS, babe. We have all been buzzed, drunk, arguing with our spouse, wake up the next morning and be like, I'm so sorry. Like, I did not mean it like that. Like, it may have actually had genuine feelings. Like, don't get it effed up. You might have actually felt a certain way, but it's like,
I think with her situation, because they have so many issues and so many times where they might be walking on eggshells, or it's like a little slight here, a little thing here that he might say something as small as, just call me when you get there. And she like, oh, that's weird. Why'd I do that? Right. So I think from her standpoint of saying like, we would have this argument anyway, I get it. I think the level of how big the argument got, obviously had something to do with the alcohol. But I think there was something to her saying like we would have this argument anyway because they issues is built like that.
It's just really fascinating. But I did like moving into them speaking to each other. I did like how Eric actually said like, you know, he started with, I'm gonna just let go of the Rocky thing. I'm gonna let you handle that. I thought he was trying to start the conversation on a good foot.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm like, all right, I heard what she said. Maybe I'm coming on too strong. I'm a backpedal pussy pop and do what I gotta do, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like Virginia, I feel like therapy leaves people in one or two ways, right? You can either leave a therapy session ready to run a marathon, or you can leave a therapy session like I only got about 7 more hours
ready to be in bed. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm ready to risk it all. Like I'm done. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that he was on one side and she was on the other.
Straight up. Yeah, I believe it. I think that's how it was.
Even the way that she got defensive, all he said was like, maybe we should drink a little less. And the way she got defensive was crazy. But even when they talked about, you know, spending more time together and how Dr. Pepper explained to him, like, you should be clear about, like, maybe we need to create a schedule or whatever the case may be, because he just doesn't feel prioritized over her friends, which is an issue.
So I understood they had an argument. I understood both sides. This is the tricky situation because I understood both sides of it. Her side was, his side was, let's start with his side. His side was, you should be able to cancel things for me. You should be able to say, I can't be able to make it because of my husband, right? Which sounds reasonable. Her side or kind of response to that was, I'm a planner. And so I'm down for us to make time for each other. She said this, if we plan it, right? And so she feels like if I plan something, you know, with my friends a week or two in advance, like I really will feel a type of way about just canceling it because I'm a planner and this was on the books for X amount of time, right? Which I understand that. His response to that was, my career, my life doesn't work like that because I'm a pilot. So I can't, the way that my lifestyle is set up, I can't do a whole lot of planning way ahead of time, which I also understand. This is an issue that I think because of their lifestyles makes them clash, which I can also blame the experts for.
I mean, it got nothing to do with their lifestyle. It got everything to do with the fact that she just is really, I think it's selfish. I think the reality is that.
But you can't see her point of view of saying like, I'm a planner, and so it's hard for me to just cancel stuff that I plan for. It's hard for me. Hold on real quick. He's trying to drop her into his lifestyle, and she's trying to drop him in her lifestyle. And that's something that one of them said. One of the doctors said that. Dr. Pepper
they were speaking to Haley. Let's be clear.
Oh, but it's the same thing. The same thing applies here.
The same thing, because Eric is not asking her not to party with his friends. He's saying to prioritize me. I don't give a damn who I'm and if the feeling ain't mutual, me and you got a conversation that we need to have. Because I don't give a damn what you got planned. I don't give a damn what I got planned. If I say to you, in this moment, I need you to be here with me, you need to make some changes. And that's on period. I do not give a damn. I don't give a damn. I don't think he's wrong for saying that.
I think it's still, I don't think either one of them are wrong in this situation.
No, I think she's wrong for saying like, because what it's showing is that you are not a priority to me.
Right. She has done that because we talked about this. We acknowledge that she is in an immature state as far as relationships goes. Her idea of communicating in a long distance situation when she went over to visit when she went over to visit her family, she thought it was crazy. So she clearly is not there as far as a maturity thing. I think in this situation, in a vacuum, it is a little bit of I'm trying to drop you into my life because we go back to Brianna and Vincent of Vincent going, so where's the compromise, right? So where's the compromise?
He did compromise.
No. Listen, let me finish my thought real quick because I'm gonna lose it. Sorry. So the Brianna and Vincent thing of where's the compromise, right? So to Eric, where's the compromise, right? So you're a pilot and you can't always do stuff that is planned ahead, which we understand, which we understand. With Virginia, you are a planner and you have an issue with like canceling stuff because you put so much in the planning, and you would like your situation with your husband to be planned out, right? Which as a man, you've heard that before from a woman, that, you know what I'm saying? Let's do something. Don't just hit me up and be like, let's go, everything got to be last minute. Let's go get something to eat. Let's go to like, as a woman, you want to feel courted. You want to feel like you put some effort into our date night, right? So that is also understandable. So where is the compromise? Can't be every time I come home, you got to cancel shit. The compromise got to be, I'll try to give you some more heads up or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, there just wasn't a compromise that I saw.
I don't agree. I think, and I respectfully think it's something that I completely disagree. And I disagree from a space of being the person.
With what? That there should compromise?
I'm gonna tell you why I disagree. I disagree from the space of being the person who always got to be the one that's like, oh, I'll change my plans for you. Because you got places you got to be, and it might not even be, it might be something I just want you to be there, or I just want you to, and I might change what I got going on for you. I'm saying,
yeah, but if you ask me, hold on, but here's the caveat. If you come to me and you say, Joe, I need a heads up on whatever it is so that I can change my plans, and then I say, you know what, I'm gonna have a calendar that has all my shows on it so that we can. That is a difference. You see what I'm saying? Like, somebody has to come. But Eric didn't come to the table with that, y'all. Eric did not. There was no verbal coming to the table. That's what I'm saying.
I don't agree, but we can move
there
on.
Wasn't. Point it out. Hold on. Point it out. Before we move on, point it out. Because that was my only thing.
I don't agree. I feel like
No. I'm saying bring it to the, where was it? Where, at what point?
He literally said to Dr. Pepper, she work a 9 to 5. I don't. It ain't like, he's already a pilot. If you know anything about a flight of
okay, you're not giving me the. I needed the example of where he came to the table with that. I gave you an hold on, because I gave you an example. You threw out an example, and I countered with an example of the compromise that I was looking to see. Very in the vein of the Brianna and Vincent, where Vincent didn't see the compromise. I didn't see the compromise here, and it sounds like you didn't see the compromise either.
I don't give a damn what nobody say, and y'all can bust down in the comments and yell, stomp your feet, clap your hands, and roll around in the ground, okay? My thing is this: prioritize me, because if I ask you to do anything, and you don't feel like, okay, you got to move some stuff around, you don't need to be around. I'm with Eric on that. Like, prioritize.
Yeah, me. I am too.
And honestly, let's keep it 1,000. You've been around these mothers for how long? I'm just your husband that you just met a couple. You can't prioritize getting to know me.
Yeah,
you can't prioritize dating me. That don't make no damn sense, and you're not gonna sell it to me. So bye. But
yeah, I agree with that. That's a separate issue, though.
Oh, is it? Oh,
it is because there still wasn't a compromise there. There's two different issues.
But they did speak about him. Stop saying that. You know, he leaving or whatever. He said he ain't going nowhere, but he do need to stop saying that. That's a real thing. You have to. Words mean things, people.
Because we talked about how like we said, this applies just like Haley and Jacob, the dropping into the life thing. He's been the main one that's been hitting the button of, if you don't like it, then bounce. It's my way or the highway. So this applies too. That's why and it goes back to the theme of compromise. Hello, y'all. Where's the compromise? It wasn't there.
That's true, baby. That's true. So let's get into Ryan and Clara. These lying, they lie like dead dogs.
Yeah, they do. It's weird.
They whole thing, babe, by my entire spirit. Ryan sits down, and Dr. Pepper asks him, well, can you think of anything that, you feel like you will want to, like, work on in a relationship? Or he goes on this whole diatribe about how the relationship is great. They have amazing chemistry. And he just doesn't think it's anything wrong with the relationship. And that is so creepy to me.
Yeah.
I really, and this is keeping it 100. And this is from a person who, if you know me, I talk so much mess about Joe. And y'all couldn't get me to leave Joe. But Joe had to bust me upside my head like 20 times for me to be like, all right, y'all. I'm gonna leave. Like, I love my man, right? But I hate when people go on, like, talk about their spouse like, oh, it's just so perfect. And like, girl, bye. So that's what Ryan did. And Dr. Pepper was like, bull swanky. No,
straight up. And I'm glad that he made it very clear. He said, you being in a relationship where you think that y'all don't argue and y'all don't have any disagreements and y'all don't have any issues to work on and y'all just perfect. He said, that don't mean that your relationship is good. He said, the best relationships have ups and downs, have arguments. They cool today, they not cool tomorrow. They have a little couple of days, they not talking, they talking. Like he said, the best relationships go through these ebbs and flows. And so he was trying to tell him, like,
points across.
Yeah. Right.
It's hard to hear difference of opinion from your spouse and not have a visceral reaction to it.
And still sharp and still, like it is no, if y'all just going along to get along, which I said they was the go along to get along couple. If y'all just going along to get along, you're not working on anything. You're not getting better as a couple. You're not getting better as an individual. Zar want to fight me every time I tell her to stop drinking a soda or I want to throw out a box of candy, right? But guess what's happening?
Trying to call me fat.
That's not what's happening, right? Because I want her to be healthy. We want to have kids. We talk about childbearing and stuff like that. So you want your woman to be as healthy as possible when you get to that point, right? And so, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody's not pushing you to be better, if you're not pushing each other to make the relationship better, you ain't going nowhere, and you're bound to drizzle.
Why must you insert?
I said I'm gonna get it in at one time every dawn, and this was it. And this is it.
You get. But this is the funniest part to me, guys. So yeah, Ryan talks to Dr. Pepper, and Dr. Pepper asks him straight up, like, if y'all not like having sex, have you even considered how that affects her? And
he straight up was like, oh.
But this is why I said what I said last week about Ryan. I'm not buying it.
What you say?
Not buying it. I feel like something about him is pretentious. How can you be in a space with somebody every day and not know when they bother by something? I could be in a room, look out, see your face, and say, "Ooh, something is bothering him."
But they not. You know what it is though. Everybody is not. You got to be in tune with people with your person. Let's make that clear. With your person, and you got to be into your person to even get to that realm of caring. Like, you know what I mean? And I just don't think that they are in tune. I don't think that they care enough like that. Like, I don't think that they have that thing there where it's like, I can feel that something is wrong with you and I want to fix it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I always told you, like, if I'm bugging you to tell me what's wrong with you, we're in a good place. If I know something is wrong with you and I didn't ask you a damn thing, you should be worried, because that means I don't give a fuck. That means I know that something is wrong with you and I genuinely don't care, right? And so I think that's where they are. And that's an issue.
And I just know, and he don't care.
I think he doesn't care. I think he just has there's no real connection with them. They're just going along to get along.
Virgo energy, y'all. I'm like, he got me tingling. He giving me Virgo energy. Something Virgo, Libra, Aquarius. I'm getting all of that. I'm just trying to figure out what he is, though. We really need to know. Somebody do your due diligence. Do your Googles. But so yeah, she says, though, to Pastor Cow that the relationship is a 10 out of 10. But why would you lie?
I don't know.
Why are you lying?
I don't know.
Why are you lying?
That shocked me.
You are not getting dick down. Your relationship,
but that's your issue.
At best.
And if that's all you did, that my issue with it is every day, all day, whenever you're on camera, all you talking about is sex and how you're not getting it, right? That's it. So for somebody to sit in front of you, your counselor, to sit and you to get in your counselor, your therapist, to sit in front of you and say, is there anything that you're concerned about in your relationship? And you go, nope.
Nothing.
It's scary. That's scary. I don't know. I don't understand it.
It's to me. But you know what it also says to me? That they have not harmonized this therapy process with them. Because if you are used to going to the therapist, you will sit down and throw up on a therapist's couch. You tell them how many times you used the bathroom that day, everything that I ate this for breakfast. You are so used to having these conversations that being fake and phony would be so far away from.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
And that's what I was saying when I said that I don't understand how they threw these people in this predicament with a complete stranger. Now you're married in a completely different type of aesthetic of a relationship that no one is used to except for Eric, I guess. And you're not helping them as individuals. You're not helping them sharpen their tools as individuals. You're not helping them, understand how to communicate with each other, understand what's going on with themselves and how to communicate these new feelings and these new emotions and how to navigate it. You just kind of threw them in on the deep end and said, hey, we'll see you in week 6 and then we'll see you again at the end.
And I would talk about what is their names, babe? Oh, it's on the thing. Ryan and Clara talked about, but they lying to each other and it's scary. And it's really scary. And quite frankly, they really didn't talk about nothing. They resolved nothing. He still ain't going to sleep with her, and she still don't want no kids in the church. Which I think that's a big thing. And
but they don't talk about nothing. So of course that wasn't talked about. They don't talk about anything. They don't talk about anything. 10
out of 10. And that's a big deal. And I get him feeling like that's a must. I think that we have a similar dynamic. And I think that her idea is right. Like if you take the kids, take the kids. But if the kids don't want to go, I'm not gonna be like, you gotta go. I'm not gonna be that. Come stay home. We can hit the TJ Maxx on Sunday. Like, I'm not trying to be like, you know what I mean? One of those like, you don't have to go.
Militant religious.
No, I think that's where she's at. Whereas he's like, no, because both his parents are ministers. You must be in a church every Sunday, or whatever the case may be. So I'm curious to see how that goes.
That's not going to go anywhere because that's where he grew up, right? That his situation is a lot more. His situation seems like it's a lot more set in stone. Like it's a lot more. He's not really. I grew up in the church, and I'm a PK. My dad is a pastor, but I don't.
Went and got him a wife that's so far away from.
But I don't. But I don't subscribe to the idea that they got to be in church every Sunday. To me, it's less about the church and more about them being instilled the good parts, like the relationship, the spirituality of it. Less about the religion. Ryan's is about the tradition. It's about the church. It's about being in there, and that's where they're gonna have the class because we both are in sync on the spirituality of it, the taking the good parts of every religion has its good parts, every religion has its bad parts. And I want to cherry pick and give the good parts.
I want to cherry pick.
Straight up. And so I think they are on opposite sides though. They're on complete opposite sides where he's like, they need to be in the church every weekend, and she's like, I don't even really believe in religion for real. So and the way that they don't even talk, it ain't going nowhere. That issue ain't getting resolved at all.
They got a perfect relationship. They don't touch each other. They not talking to each other, but they a 10 out of 10. But let's move on to Paige and Chris.
Yeah.
So Dr. Pepper sat up there and said she don't know where Chris came from because they did not. She said his mess of a life. Which I actually totally agree with that.
They got to stop lying, bro. They got to stop lying. They have to stop lying. They have to stop lying. Like, I'm so tired of the experts getting on here, Dr. Pepper in particular, getting on here.
Dr. Pepper be having a battery in her back.
She be having a battery in her back. She'll get on here. She'll deflect. She'll throw all the dirt on Chris. Everything is on. And they just plausible deniability. We didn't know that he was this type of young man. We didn't know anything about the fiance. We didn't know anything about the pregnancy. We didn't know anything. We just picked him. He told us that he was a good guy, and we believed him. So even by your own logic, you're bad at your job. This don't make no sense. Like,
y'all gotta
stop
make no sense. Tinder searches, okay? for Married at First Sight. We is tired. Y'all can't be picking the people based on the Tinder criteria. We can't do it. No.
It's just like, so you expect me to believe that you just went off of his word? Because this is not a win for you. So either you want me to believe that you went off of his word and you didn't do any due diligence, or you did your due diligence and was like, oh, this will get ratings, and slid him right into the show. But you can't have it both ways, where you didn't know anything, but you did your job, and nobody should be looking at you.
And I feel like this is honestly, it's such a dead horse, and it's very clear to me that y'all just getting paid for whatever the fuck y'all getting paid for.
Straight up.
And y'all just showing up. What's Marshawn Lynch thing? I'm just here.
I'm just here so I don't get fined, and that's exactly why Chris. That's exact. And at this point, and at this point, I believe that that's exactly why Chris and Paige is there. Like for a couple weeks, it lingered, and it seemed like Paige just kept coming back because she was a glutton for punishment or something like that. But in the past,
being fined.
And in the past couple of weeks, it's becoming more evident to me that they're both Marshawn Lynch, and it's not being talked about enough that the show, the production, I don't know who it is, the experts keep dragging them back through this. Chris let it slip, and they will for sure edit it out if he elaborated any more on it. But he let it slip by saying, "I just want to be done with this. Let me know if y'all heard that." He said that. He said, "I just want to be done with this. Like I don't want to be here anymore." Like,
but why, baby? Why did he say he ain't like Paige?
It was her face, okay, and that's what he said. He said it was her face, and it's clear that y'all not ready for this type of honesty, okay? Because I seen the comments,
off the top.
I seen the Twitters and y'all, and this is what I told y'all. I said, pay attention, because people gonna come on here and they gonna lie through their face, because when they be honest and say, hey, they just not cute to me, they gonna get slaughtered.
But babe, was I not like, I was into Chris. I was feeling him. He was keeping it 1,000 from his perspective as shit. Because let's be clear.
He what?
Y'all know I like the villain. I like the villain because it takes much more effort to be a bad person than it does a good person, right? So people are constantly trying to pretend like they are good people, when in fact, you're a bad motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? And he just came like, you know what? We in Atlanta. All these bad bitches want
He said, bro.
He said, and y'all ain't got that, which is so disrespectful. And I don't want Paige to feel any kind of way. Paige is a beautiful woman. She's a successful woman. She's a woman who got a lot going for her. I'm not saying that to come at her. I just thought it was funny. But
in period. And but the thing is, we can't act like we are surprised.
He wasn't
lying. Come on, y'all. Like, we just can't sit up here and act like we don't know where this came from and why. Like, and then I'm seeing all the comments. Well, Chris is saying, that he not attracted to Paige like he's, LL Cool J, like he's Idris Elba. Attraction don't work like that, y'all. It don't work like that. It don't. You don't have to look a certain way to be able to see if you're attracted to another person, right? Chris is just not attracted to her. It don't matter what Chris look like. It don't matter what his hair do, what his forehead do. It doesn't matter any of that. He was simply not attracted to her, and he was honest about it. He said, I'm not attracted to her. I'm not attracted to her face.
Specifically, it was her face.
Specifically, it was her face.
And to you,
that's honest.
Some people are like face people.
Yeah.
Some people are like, you can be a pretty girl and don't got no booty, no breasts, but you are beautiful.
Yeah.
And I want to hang out with you. That's
insane. But the idea that being attracted to your spouse is not important is asinine. It's asinine. So this idea that, like, what's wrong with Chris and just let's be clear, Chris got a lot of things wrong with him. But are we talking just in this aspect of attraction? Because that was the thing. People was eating him up on Twitter and on Facebook and all this other stuff because he was getting eaten up. And I agree, babe. He was getting eaten up. And I'm talking just as far as attraction. Let me tell you something. Enter Zar Wilson. has done a lot of things. I've known this girl since I was 16, y'all. Okay? She's done a lot of things that had that face not look like that, we would not be here today, okay? So the idea that attraction is it should just be an afterthought. You know what I mean? Like it should just be. I'm cute. It's ridiculous. Like this idea that her face has brought me back to the table a couple of times. Like, all right, we gonna work this out. Like we can figure this out. If you don't even have that, you're gonna go through a lot of stuff as a couple, especially when your life. You're gonna go through a lot of stuff. And when you talking about marriage, you're talking about to death do you part. You're gonna go through a lot of stuff. At the very least, you should be able to look at that motherfucker and say, that motherfucker fine though.
No, honey, that's not how it works. But to your point though, babe, Joe was on Twitter all night going back and forth with people.
I was, and they was trying to they was listening. They was asking for it.
Don't come at my man, y'all. He can run with it.
They was asking for it, and I'm gonna give it to you straight because the other thing is this double standard, right? This double standard of if Chris was a woman and said I don't find him attractive,
we would be okay.
Nobody would be eating them up. Nobody would eat her up.
That's because women can be unattracted to people and still date them. Men, that's
because ain't nobody paying for our meals and putting like, come on, like what? No, I'm not going to pay for you to take your non-cute ass out just so we can just sit here and shoot the shit.
The point is that Pastor Kyle was trying to pretend like he was so disgusted with what's his name? Chris, I'm gonna call him Eric. He was trying to pretend like he was so disgusted with Chris, when in fact, y'all picked this mother jumper. So all that y'all
the clutching your pearls. I can't believe he said, like, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
And I'm gonna tell you this, Married at First Sight. You better come correct next season.
Straight up.
We see you now. We see you. And what y'all need to be doing is busting down and fucking tweeting these mother jumpers and saying, show us the process.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to know that y'all going up on a dating sites picking mother jumpers because they're saying they want to have a good time tonight.
Yeah.
That's not what we want. Like we don't want to see that. But let's move on to I'm tired of them. Let's move on to who we have left. Haley and
Jacob.
This will be fast because it's Haley and Jacob.
It
Haley
sure is.
They're going to talk to Dr. Pepper and Pastor Kyle, respectively. And Dr. Pepper straight up came from, she was not playing, busted foot through the door and said, I think you want him to just come plot up in your life and then you could keep doing what you're doing, but he got to change everything. So now what?
I mean,
you felt like Haley was changing a lot.
No, that's not what I said.
Oh,
I said I didn't like how Dr. Pepper in deflection mode as she was all episodes. So this was a running theme too.
Oh, so you think this was a CYA episode? Cover your
straight up. How she completely mulled over Haley's initial statement of her issue. Her issue was Dr. Pepper said, y'all, I just feel like y'all don't know each other. And I feel like y'all are having issues and your issues stem from you not really making a connection and getting to know each other. Haley said, I tried to get to know him. When I asked him questions, when I probe for information, when I want to find common ground, he has nothing to say. And then Lifetime, without knowing that Dr. Pepper was going to try to cover her ass in this same segment, Lifetime went and showed you clips of Haley asking him questions on multiple occasions where he had nothing to say in response. Well, what you been doing for the past couple years? I don't know. Just kind of been around. Hold on, listen. That's what because this is what I had an issue with. Dr. Pepper's response to that was, well, he changed stuff, so you should change more stuff. Like, wait a minute. You completely didn't address her concern. You didn't address the fact that he has nothing to say. Like she's constantly talking to, and she's making effort. The idea that Haley doesn't make effort is not true. Haley has made effort. Haley don't like this motherfucker. And let's just be for real. Haley is in the same boat that Chris is, if we being honest, except Haley's just a better person. So Haley is here giving effort, going out on dates, asking probing questions, and we've been there and watched when he just didn't say anything. And so my issue was that Dr. Pepper didn't address that because it would expose her lack of expertise and her piss poor job in this season and pairing these couples.
But I do think that when Jacob talks about, like, you know, he says straight up that he feels like she wanted to cut him off. I really think he believes that. I think that, like, that's a real thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, feeling like you have done. The problem is that I think you're right? Two things can be true in your language, right?
Yeah.
I think that she could have had this encounter and felt like she was giving everything and he was giving nothing, right? But in the moments where she gave nothing, I think that it bothered him, and I think that he would be like, it's hard. You are a testament to this. Sometimes it's hard to rebound, and I think that he is not that good at the rebound. So when they start having conversations like, "Oh, we're supposed to be friends and shit," he ain't really ready to be your friend. But he like, I'm here, so. But he paying her dust to us, but to him, he like, this is everything I could possibly give you right now.
But for you to be, you can't have it both ways if you're Jacob. You can't say, you know, I want to be able to be intimate and give you a hug and give you a kiss, but I'm trying to create intimacy. Intimacy is built, right?
Yeah.
So you don't just jump into it, like, you know, so you build it through conversation, through time, through all of these different things, all of these different avenues. So you can't say, I want us to be at point B, at point, you know, I want us to be at the midpoint of intimacy, right?
Yeah.
But I don't want to participate in A. Like, I just want to skip over that part. So like the conversation part, let's not do that. Let's just be at B and let's just be intimate. Let's hug. You should be comfortable with me. How can I be comfortable with you? You don't have nothing to say to me, bro. How?
And
how can we build intimacy?
And you're right. And you're absolutely right. But I do think, to his point, like he said, I don't think she wants to. I think they're both.
She'll have a conversation. We'll see. Because she talking, she chatty catty with everybody else. She can't. It takes two to be. It takes. She is. It takes two people to have a conversation, and that's something that that's something that you have to acknowledge, that everybody takes a piece of the blame pie when there's an issue, and that Jacob needs to own that. He hasn't. He hasn't owned that.
I don't think he's owned it either. I think he has been kind of playing like, oh, it's her issue, not
it's
really.
her. It's her. It's her. She don't like me. She the deflection is at an all-time high.
But I do like that they sat down and they spoke with one another and they had like a real good come to Jesus moment. I know y'all already told us in the comments what they say on Unfiltered, and Joe and I decided that that's something that we're going to watch or whatever the case may be. But I do, I don't like spoilers. Like, I like to, this is our fit, like this is how we feel after actually watching the show, right? And I think that sometimes the Unfiltered episode can give you like a little bit of a spoiler, you know what I mean? And I want to know, I want to be excited when we find out on decision day. So that's really why Joe and I don't watch it, but we said we're gonna go back by the pussy pop and see what's going on. But
and to address the one thing that said that he said on Unfiltered, he made the comment that well, you know, when we're not filming, she's ghost, right?
Yes, somebody said that in our comments.
Which makes sense to me, because I can't. My thing is, why would I want to be around when you giving me one word answers? Like, hey, how you doing? Cool. What you do today? Nothing. Like that's like talking to your nephew. That's too cool. Like, too cool for school. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. How can we hang out? How can we do things? How can we get to know it? Why would I be around? I'm gonna fulfill my obligation to be here, and then I'm gonna bounce. Haley is also just here until she don't get fined. And that's the title of this episode. Remember it, Zar, because I'm not gonna be able to give it to you again.
Oh my God, that's the title, babe. Wait a minute. Okay, I got it.
All right.
But yeah, so let's end with Brianna and Vincent, the realest couple on here. They sat up in therapy like, we all right, you know?
Yeah.
We trying to figure it out. We doing good some days. We not doing good other days. And I think that it was so.
And it is in line for them to have spoken like that and them to be the best couple on here.
Boom.
The healthiest couple.
Don't and when y'all speaking, if you single and you speak it to your married friends and they bitching and moaning about their spouse, they not going nowhere, y'all. They not. They just bitching and moaning because if they bitch and moan to their spouse, it's gonna be an argument. So they gotta go out the house and bitch and moan to people that don't matter in the house. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that it was very big of them to have honest conversation. Like, we are having tiffs. We are having moments that's challenging, but we're committed. And I thought it was really vulnerable of Brianna to talk about her pregnancy journey. And this is different. I know you're going to say, well, Virginia and Brianna got the same fears. It's different. Brianna has high blood pressure. And her thing is like, she's the idea of pregnancy and what it could do to her body and how it would affect her is scary for her. And Vincent is, I don't know if Latino or
Latino
is the correct thing to say.
He's Latino, and they want to have 100 kids. So this is an issue, and this is also going. This I said it at me at Joe Connor 33 on Twitter, because I will go at it with you on Twitter, and I'm gonna have some time while we on the road to jump into Twitter. So I think the other thing is that's going to be
comments.
The other thing is that's going to be an issue is the lack of listening that Brianna does when Vincent speaks.
Ooh, child.
It is that's the next thing that needs to be addressed. Yeah. And I could tell that Vincent really picks his spots and chooses his words and doesn't really want to ruffle feathers. Yeah, it doesn't really want to ruffle any feathers. And sometimes he might just not know how to broach a subject. He that's a situation where he needs to navigate with therapists and counselors and say, okay, maybe this is something that I bring to therapy because I don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
But they talked about this situation for what seemed like 5 or 10 on-camera minutes, and she heard not 1 minute of it. It was like,
because he wanted to go to sleep. He wanted to sleep in. And I'm gonna be honest. This is an argument I've had before. Not with you, but this is an argument I've had before. And in looking back, like hindsight is 2020, like not wanting to compromise on that is so asinine, right? Like, because now I'm like, I wake up early every Saturday and you don't. You know what I mean? And I'll just come and sit in the living room.
Yeah, I mean, people work in different careers. People on different schedules. Yeah. The idea that like this motherfucker got to move when I move is like that's not real life, sis.
It's selfish. Let's call things what they are. It's absolutely positively selfish. And talk about dropping somebody into your life.
Yes.
He can't be aligned with your schedule, and he does something different.
Yeah,
and it's really selfish. And I know they probably are really in a good space. I'm putting that out in the area, but I think that it's so messed up for you to think that he's supposed to move at all times when you move. It's just unrealistic.
Yeah,
it's not real.
And she still has to peel back that layer of you are one half now. Like, this is not just Brianna's world,
and he can sleep when the hell he want to sleep.
This is not just Brianna's world. So when he says, I think that I'm not trying to completely change your spending habits. I just think that you can look at what you're doing and find some spots where you can adjust. Whoa, hold on. That sounds like somebody who is using the tools to. But when he says stuff like that, and you're just responsive, well, everything don't got to be a $200 dinner. That's not what he said. That's not how you come to a place of compromise. When he responded with, okay, so, but where's the compromise? And then she said something else, and then he said it again. But where's the compromise?
Brianna gives me Cancer vibes. Okay, like Cancers can be super. It's my way or the highway. So can Aquarius, by that logic. But I think that she's giving me Cancer vibes. Okay, because she's loving, but it's on. She has parameters, and you must operate within her parameters, right?
Right.
And I guess the issue that I have with it is, imagine you thinking you're the only mother jumper who works. Like as if the weekends for some people, especially us 9-to-5ers, is everything. And I'm a person that don't sleep in, right? So I like to take advantage of the weekend. But my spouse works into the wee hours of the morning, like gigging, and it's wrong for me to be like, we need to go to the flower district at 9 a.m. That's rude. Like that's not taking account all the things that he has to do. And let's be clear, I want you operating on full cylinders, right? So
that's what Pastor Cal said. Pastor Cal said that. He said, which this is something that take note, because I've said this again. I said this was the happy wife, happy life thing, but everybody wanted to shoot me dead. Everybody being this one. Every wife being this one. He said, pleasing your wife, it's not doing whatever it is that she says. Mm-hmm. He says you're pleasing your wife is being available and being able to operate at your highest level to be a part of this relationship, and to be your best self. That's what he said.
And that means taking care of you. And I feel like Brianna is a little bit like, I think, and this is y'all gonna beat me for this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Brianna is used to getting cursed the fuck out by men. And
really? I don't think she is.
I think she is. And
I think she ain't never been cursed out by men.
And she doesn't seem argumentative. And I mean this, she seemed like the type who used to men pushing back. And she giving like a nice, polite, because my thing is, if this man is coming to you, he don't even talk to her in any kind of way. He be like, well,
he don't.
How you gonna compromise? And
right.
Like,
that's literally how he said it.
Well, you could just wake up early. Like what? Says that you are used to conflict, because how did you not hear what this man just said?
How did you not hear what he just said?
Ignored it. Completely ignored what he said. And said whatever you wanted to say. You ignored him. Let's be honest. You ignored him and said, I don't care what's going on with you. I don't care that you work. When you gonna wake up? What time you gonna wake up?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that she used to get cursed out. And I think that's why she has so many things that's like, oh, we don't last that long. Because she meets somebody, he cursed her out, she don't like it, she keep it moving. Oh, he ain't gonna tell me what to do. Which, okay, so you see where I'm going?
Yeah.
That's what she gives me. That's what she gives me. And let's be clear. I like Brianna. Okay. I am a Brianna. Like, you know what I mean? I identify with her, but I'm just saying that sometimes you got to shut the fuck up.
Straight up.
And I mean that respectfully. Okay. But with the capital F, cat. Okay. Yeah. So it's like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to be quiet and hear your spouse.
Yeah.
This is bothering you. This is affecting you. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
But Daddy, I guess that's the end of this.
Yeah.
I miss your face.
I miss you.
I can't believe we got to do this like this. This is so upsetting to my spirit, but.
I know.
This was a hard one, guys. It's hard for me to be apart from him. I've been with him. It's bad. It's bad.
And we haven't had to be apart in a year.
I know. So I'm having separation anxiety.
Yeah. So then we fish out of water.
Yeah. So I love you.
I love you.
And I miss you. Come on.
I am. Soon.
Ready for Love came out last week, so we got to catch up.
Oh, true.
And we'll try to figure something out.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you guys for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. We overtime, but we don't care because we be talking mess.
Yeah.
All right. Bust down, subscribe to this channel, and I guess we'll see you beautiful mother jumpers later. Send prayers for my baby here on the road, y'all. In the
yes, please.
So God bless him. Okay.